My grandmother frequently told me to find people who are good for my soul and stay close to them. Many years ago, when we worked together on the covenant with North Carolina's children, I sensed that for me, Karen was one of those people. Though we've been through several iterations, we've always stayed close, most recently with the Child Fatality Task Force. In whatever venue we're in, Karen is the clearest thinker and the most compassionate person in the room. She can be a gentle hummingbird in flitting from one topic to another, but also a ferocious mama bear when she thinks children are not being treated well. So, if she were alive today, I'd say, yes, Nona, I found one, and her name is Karen McLeod.
When I was growing up, one of the things that I think had a huge influence on me was that when my parents divorced, my dad got remarried, and I ended up, from the age of 7, moving in with my dad and my stepmom and my stepsisters that were twins. And we became a blended family in a very powerful way, and I think that has been very influential in my life, in that I realized that when you are part of a family, it doesn't have to be blood. It can be any type of family. It's all about the love and the commitment of that family to make you their own, and that's what my stepmother and my stepsisters did, and they became my mother and my sisters.
It's always been very important that her work make a difference. Certainly she's seen a lot through her experience with social services or as a crime victims advocate, and then also certainly her work at benchmarks and at the legislature.
Karen has a gift. She can take the complex and translate it into the understandable, the more simple.
She brought together all providers that touch children and families' lives and said, let's create a message, let's create a vision, let's figure out how we can do more and be more, and just change the way things operate.
I made it very clear when I was running, and from my first day there, that I would be working, my top priority would be foster care, children and families in crisis, to make those differences. And she heard about it and showed up in my office one day and said, I understand, I need to know you, I need to work with you. And I said, come on in and sit down. And 6 years later, together, we have made huge differences. She is a fierce advocate for children, families, and for those who cannot speak for themselves.
When we're in a committee room or we're crafting legislation, we see it at the 30,000-foot view, and we don't always see how that translates to real people's lives, particularly the most vulnerable. So she's always had a great way of saying, if you do this, or if this is the way we go forward, this is the consequences, both good and bad, that you're going to have. And she always took that pragmatic approach and helped me understand how it affects real people, not just a committee room or words on a page, but how it affects real people.
One of the greatest strengths that I bring is to be a social worker. And what a social worker does is it starts where the client is, wherever that is, without judgment, without preconceived notions. You start where the client is, and you understand the client's perspective, and from there you can work with that client to get to different places. That philosophy is how I approach the legislature. I don't like labels. I don't like people labeling kids. My experience has been that you seek out good people who are there for the right reason and are committed to doing good things. And it doesn't matter what the label is, you can get the work done.